limits are increased.
I like that.
That's a roll call vote.
Yep. Davison,
Yes?
Cruz,
Yes.
Class,
Yes.
DeShano,
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
You're off.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So, yeah, any questions, I'll be available. I'll need the signature pages. You can send them to tomorrow,
I got them here, but I didn't sign them.
that's fine.
I don't sign them till after the
That,
meeting.
no,
Because they
that's
check how
fine.
old the ink is. So I wanna make sure.
No, that's fine, I'll just need it, but when we change. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
All right, getting back onto the agenda, the fire department.
Hi, we're here.
The report.
I'll start out with one of our newer firefighters is now a medical responder. He did pass that class and actually passed the test, so I was kind of surprised, but, you know.
We gave him one thing to do.
One job. Primarily what we're doing is trying to get caught up on repairs in different vehicles and stuff. We had some issues with the engine, tore a valve up, and anyway, that's quite expensive and stuff. Steve's been working on the issues with the rescue as far as the insurances go and who's doing what where, and I think we've got it straightened out.
Should be going in the next couple of weeks. When I called the insurance lady, she says, well, where are you at in getting it fixed? I said, you haven't sent us anything to tell me I can get it fixed. So, needless to say, I got the estimate and all that, and I'm gonna talk to Protec. So, they're gonna wait till they get all the parts in, and that way they'll get the truck, and they said they're gonna move it straight to the front, get it in, get it done, and get it back to us as soon as they can rifle it through, so.
We'll only do one truck at a time.
Yep.
Yeah, we had
Yep.
too many repairs going on to do some of the other stuff. Pumper 14-2, we need some repairs done on that I've been holding off for quite some time, but they do need to be done. But I can't take that in right now, so.
Once the rescue's done, then I think the plan is we'll send the engine in for its work.
I have been in contact with Spartan. They tell me that the truck is ours, okay? And, I had them repeat that several times.
Get it writing.
In 24 or 25?
You're looking at June, so that's 24. So I did check on some financing. Financing would cost us about 5.5%. So I'd like to sit down with the board and our board members and see what we can figure out here as far as, because they were basing nothing down and stuff like that, but the guy couldn't tell me too much about the escrow account. He couldn't tell me too much about financing because he is the new sales manager. The other one, no, I guess he's still there, but he kind of went away. Whatever. I would like to talk to them about putting the money down, the $300,000-400,000 that we do have, so that we can negotiate a little bit. And just stick to the price. It is a vehicle that we had ordered before. Basic price was $653,000. Now we've got some add-ons on that, and you're still looking at $700,000 by the time we get done here, maybe a little bit more.
So the previous truck, you put some money down out of the fire fund that we collect from
Right.
the township people, and then you borrowed the rest of the money from the township?
Right. Right. Don't know if that's possible, but something to look at. So, it was on the basis of the money was available, and why not have the township? It just worked out the best that way.
The only other thing that I would ask about that is I know that sometimes it's actually a negative if you're going for a grant of some sort, that you have absolutely no debt. And sometimes it's worth having a little bit of debt so that it puts you in a better position for grant programs.
Well, that would be a totally different discussion that I would like to have, because we have no long-term debt, and we are penalized for that. And
You just call, we can give you all the long-term debt you want.
and, you know, it's just, it has cost us, we got pulled from the grant application of the aerial truck because we had too much in reserve. Even though we were going to spend it and all this, and it didn't matter. So that's a totally different deal. But yeah, I would like to sit down and talk to you about which way we can go with this, which way we should go
When do they need
with
the
it.
first half payment, or when do they need a down payment so we get this truck off the
Mhm.
line? When, did they say when?
No, June is the best I've got right now.
June
For
is when the
delivery.
truck is coming, but when do they need money to make sure we get the truck in June?
Nobody has given me a straight answer on that.
So they got it sold to somebody else,
No, no.
like
That
the
I
last
checked on.
one.
Yeah, that I checked on. And they were talking, the sales manager or whatever, the new guy was talking about an escrow deal, escrow what? You put the money down in this and that, and I haven't got details on that, on the escrow thing, so.
I think you need to go above this guy's head, because somebody,
Well, I need to talk to
the
the
way
owner
trucks have been
and,
sold over
Right.
the years and years and years, is you gotta hold the truck to come down through the line by paying half of it, or.
I actually got,
I think that's why they're saying escrow. You give them $200,000, it's put in escrow and it's attached to the vehicle you're buying.
yeah, I got all the data on this one, so.
We
Which I
have a
didn't
VIN?
get before.
So we didn't have paperwork on the last one. We got
Yeah.
paperwork.
Just make sure.
That's where I'm at with that.
Well, that would be a lot better deal for us if we did want to do one. Without just a cover.
And we are coming up on a budget thing, and I would like to also sit down and talk to you, a little extra, something for the guys on an insurance deal. It's death and dismemberment type thing, and it looks like a reasonable deal and, reasonable price. And then, well, you've got it on the calendar down here on the, fire insurance withholding thing, so we'll be talking about that, I guess, but that's about it.
AFG grant will be going in soon. We forgot about that one, chief. The AFG
No, no.
grant will be growing in.
Well, we're
What's that for?
coming up with more grants on different things. We got one for DNR too, so,
For 3 sets of gear.
no,
Or
that isn't the one I'm talking about, it's a
Oh.
brand new one.
the one that came out today?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't even looked at that one yet.
But the AFG one is for 3 sets of gear.
No, the AFG is for upgrading the vehicle exhaust and environmental things so that we're not dying of carbon monoxide and diesel fumes, and we don't gas out people who come into the village offices, or ourselves on scene preferably, as well as a gear extraction, a
Gear washer.
gear washer, thank you.
Doesn't have to be big words, Kurt, just keep it simple.
A big washing machine as well under a micro grant.
So everybody got the monthly report?
Did my other one come through, Sam? Did an email it through?
Yes.
You get it, okay.
Yes, we did.
Sometimes my technology gets a little bit.
Yeah, well, I'll try and just let it go.
Okay, I don't believe there's a, is that all you got?
Yeah, what?
Is that all you got?
For now.
So
Is,
far.
I don't believe there's a recreational report, is there?
I don't believe so.
There's no hall report. Approval of payroll,
Make a motion to approve the payroll.
I'll second it.
Cruz,
Yes.
Class,
Yes.
DeShano,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Davidson.
Yes. Bills,
Make a motion to accept the bills.
I'll second it.
Class,
Yes.
DeShano,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Cruz.
Yes.
Then we have the building report. Any questions on the building report? forms printed on paper, and I'm gonna start writing them up tomorrow, and I've spoken to the sheriff, and he'll be in yet this week to get probably at least 4 or 5 of them for blight, and the trailer on M13, and start the process through the court system on most of them.
What about that, sign that's in the right of way?
We're probably gonna end up buying it.
We're gonna buy their sign.
We probably ain't gonna have a choice. I made him an offer to either I'll dig it up and he can have the sign, or we're gonna pay the sign and I'm gonna dig it up and throw it away and he can't have it. The building inspector signed
A permit.
a permit, and I don't think there's gonna be a judge, in my opinion, that will
Back us.
back up that you shouldn't have signed the permit. So, I think what'll happen, it sounded, I ain't got an answer yet, but it sounded like he's just gonna let us dig it up and he can have the sign and either put it someplace else, or I should probably know this week sometime. But, yes, I was hoping the state would get involved, cause it's half sitting on highway property,
Yeah.
but they're gonna let it all up to us, since we signed the building permit. So, since he's an employee of the township, I don't see any reason for us to spend the money to go to court. So,
He's an employee of our township?
No, he's in.
the building
Oh.
inspector is who signed the permit,
Oh.
so.
So under communications, 2 other things were received by us via email that are not listed under communications. One of them was Martouche, who asked everybody what their input was regarding where we were at on trying to get a sewer line put in on this property. And that was never answered to, but that is a communication, which is Holsinger's. And I think we need to answer him, other than me calling saying, I received your message and I'll bring it up under communications. So that would be the one item. And the other item, we received from Fletcher asking some questions, and I printed that out because the question was in reference to, we talked about this last month, and then he had a rebuttal back to us, and since he had a rebuttal back to us, I thought that that should be answered. So that would be the second communications issue. Because he was not asking, as others have, for water credit. He was asking in reference to sewer credit. There's a big difference. Because water credit, he has no issue with paying. That was his comments back to us, that, please reevaluate this, because, here was my record of use, and I'm not asking for credit on water. Everybody else had a water issue. The brick house right after I was elected.
We're not going into detail about the history, but wasn't you here to read the thing from the county and said that?
I'm saying, right?
Wasn't you here
Sam?
when you made the decision not to pay the $107, or give them the credit for the $177?
Sam, it's really simple. We as a board, all of us made a decision, excuse me, you were here too.
Yes.
Unless you've
but
got amnesia.
You read it and knew it was sewer.
I'm just saying, Mr. Fletcher brought this back up, that he would like our the thing is this, just because you don't answer somebody when they send you an email doesn't mean it goes away. It doesn't just disappear because you don't answer people. You say you're the supervisor, he sent a question and nobody answered him, just like the other item.
Let's pick one item at a time. And maybe I answered Mr. Fletcher and told him that the board wasn't given any forgiveness on anything that they've looked at the last 4 months or more. I guess I don't know when the first one came in with water on M13.
That would actually be just about a year ago.
Well, there you go. A year ago, they have given nobody forgiveness. And I know we talked about that his sewer line, his water went directly into his sump pump because that's what the county had told us, that they had inspected it, and that he was paying the water bill, and it was $177 sewer bill that he wanted forgiveness on.
Sam?
What? I'm telling you
I'm
what
just
was said.
bringing up the communication that we received. This is a communication, okay?
Yes, yes, and I answered the communication. Maybe not the day it come in. And let's talk about the other communication a moment. He has to tell us where he's gonna put the grinding station for me to tell him how much it's gonna cost to get from the gravity feed line to his grinding station.
Did you tell him? Did you tell him that in any communications? Because as of the first
I didn't give it to him in
communication,
writing,
the
no.
second communication, there was no, and that's why he finally said, are there any updates? He can't read our mind.
Well, we talked about it at the beginning. I guess I can reaffirm what he's gotta do, but he has to tell us where he's putting the grinding station, because he wants to put all those buildings on gravity into his grinding station,
Correct.
and then,
I talked to him, so he actually told me what he wants to do. But the question was, he says, did everybody get the email? And I said, well, if you sent it to everybody, did anybody respond? Because I called and asked what the case was, and he said, nobody responded.
I will talk to him tomorrow again. But he has to draw it up so Spicer can tell us how much the 2-inch line of pressure main, he's gotta put a pressure main in, because we're already
Correct.
at the 4-foot mark with the gravity feed, so.
He
we
doesn't
gotta-
have a problem with that.
I know. But I have a problem with him being on Calcall and Metro water.
If we're gonna put a sewer line in, then we tell him just what the ultimatum is. If you're going to have a Calcall Township sewer line, we would appreciate if you had a Calcall Township water line. Is there a problem with that? Because all it is a paper transfer, and they just start sending the bill from Calcall Township. There's no new lines, it's as simple as a piece of paper.
That is true, that is true. I will talk to him tomorrow. All right, I'll make a motion to accept the reports.
With the two extra.
With the 2 extra reports, yes. I'll get you copies of those if you want
I'm just
for, yeah.
putting your names in.
Here, take that one. You
I
will take-
got them, I'll give her copies of them, and she can plug them out there. Do I hear a second?
Yeah, Sherry.
All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Say, all opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Public input. I've done some searching on this, so let's be clear that you cannot give a person your 3 minutes. You get 3 minutes each. Now, if you are reading something and at the end of your 3 minutes you have another page to read and somebody else wants to take their 3 minutes and finish reading your item, that's a different story. But we're not gonna give 9 minutes to somebody. Everybody gets 3 minutes.
I have a few items for you guys, just a couple that I'll reference. I'm Lisa Eddy, address is 1890 South Huron Road. I own industrial property along with my husband that has a special assessment for trash. I had my husband go to the Board of Review on December 12th to remove that from our taxes. We've never used trash service. Sam said to go to Melissa to remove that. Melissa said she couldn't do that. Sam said not to pay that. So I put in a FOIA for information related to that. Some of the information's here. I received the board meeting minutes from October 13th, 2020. They had the trash assessment list included in there. That's in the packet. And that was provided to the board, and it was approved. In there, in that list, it shows our property, but it does not include a reason, like all the others. They all have a reason of why it's listed there. I also received the audit entry from September 23rd of 2020, where that was added to our taxes. So that was before the meeting and before it was approved, to show that that was special assessment was added. I also received the Township Ordinance 63 that states no commercial or industrial property will receive township services for trash. Our property has always had a dumpster and never received residential bins. So a few things I'd like to understand is, one, what was the trigger to have our property discussed on October 20th or 2020 in that meeting? Why was the assessment added 20 days prior to the approval? Why weren't we notified of that special assessment? And then how do I get our money back and then that removed from the taxes going forward? Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Brett Eddy, 1890 South Huron Road. So my wife that was just up here spoke of a lot of the information that the treasurer provided to her. I've spent a lot of time at the county building discussing this stuff with the treasurer and about any government entity I could there. The equalization department, register of deeds. Looking at getting treasurer's information, I was told to go to the Bay County Historical Society. Well, I want you all to know we pay a millage for that, yet we can't use it. So I went to the Historical Society to look for those records, and none of our tax records were available to be looked at. So a lot of people pointed to the assessor here at Calcallan Township, Mrs. Fackler, for many wrongdoings. Told me if I do get elected supervisor, that would be the first person to fire, to get the board to fire. So there's been wrongful land splits, assessments, multiple things. She used to represent many different townships and other entities. There's a reason she don't anymore. So she did, in this time period that my wife was providing an assessment, take 1 acre of property off of our property that we own in Mount Forest Township. So we were a target in this time period by the person who put this assessment on our taxes, and I believe Ms. Fackler. So Ms. Fackler was in Mount Forest at the time where she was canned. So the other thing I wanted to point out is, you guys were talking about communications. You guys did not ever add my wife's Eagle communications that she provided to all of you, I believe, to communication. So if you're going to treat those people like that, I expect you to treat my wife the same. So, and I truly do. I don't care who you are here. Treat us with respect. We're high-paying taxpayers here. When it comes to the sign permit, Sam, and you spoke about the judge, I mean, if there wasn't information held from the Eddies, a judge would have never approved the lawsuit that was filed against us. It's because of people that are friends with the Whelans or the classes who were just changing our definition, or Mr. Ebel, who went to school with Mr. Braggle's son. I mean, there's a lot of conflicts of interest I can keep going on between you all, right here, including the family that drained the property into ours.